Hey everyone, Chris here with Clutter Reduction Junk Removal in Southeast Florida. We are going to pick up the trailer really quick. I have to drop off 2 trash cans full of glass in front of my house because I need the full available truckload for this job we're heading to. I gave an estimate for yesterday. It's for the realtor that I made the communication tip about, and went by yesterday for the estimate with the intention of doing it on the spot, but like most realtors, there was multiple people coming to give a quote. Although she did say within like 5 minutes of being there, she was like, you know, your customer service is amazing. I said, thank you very much, I try. And I make sure to try to fluff up the conversations the best I can when I'm doing this, because when there's other people coming by and our prices are probably all going to be around the same range, I believe the next thing is going to be personality. You know, who likes who better, who got along with that company better. That's my opinion with it. So I try to make sure I'm as good as possible that I can be. So we got the job, so that worked out. I quoted them a truck to a truck and a quarter. My intention is to make it all fit in one truckload and fill up a little bit of my truck bed. The person I donate to is right down the road, so I can get some things out real quick and then readjust. Now, this job is gonna be all big stuff. There's not a single small item in there. It's a large area rug, a corner credenza glass piece, a couple of mattresses of different sizes. There's a sleeper sofa. There is a, what else? There's a couple of couch partitions of like different pieces. There's a huge entertainment center, 3 pieces, but super easy to take apart. There's like 2 to 4 screws, and then there's a 3-piece large like bookcase entertainment center and some other miscellaneous stuff. And there's a couple of things in the attic. That's gonna be like the most time-consuming part. I went up there. I'm just gonna put my speed pack underneath the door and just toss everything down. Guys, this might literally be the heaviest mattress I've ever had to move for junk removal. I couldn't lift it. I couldn't put it on the mattress bars because of how flimsy it was. I couldn't even take it out on the hand truck because it was too wide and it was just too awkward. So I had to just drag it out and just tackle it with the ratchet strap. So if you ever have to move this bed, be prepared. Literally the heaviest I think I've ever moved for junk removal. I've had one heavier for moving, but it was in like a tarp bag, and there's another person there helping us. But this was a beast of a mattress to move on my own. Guys, I was here for 3 fucking hours. That's crazy. I told her 2. I figured I always give myself some wiggle room. I figure probably 2.25, 2.5, because it was technically a truck and a quarter. I just didn't want to have to make 2 trips for, you know, something like this. So, like, I was doing pretty well until the very end. Like, I kind of got slowed down with packing the truck and stuff, and that's the hard part. That's why sometimes it's worth it to make 2 trips and moving than trying to pack everything so close together at the very end if you're like right down the road. If you're going far away, of course, you know, take your time, but otherwise it's usually just a pain. But that TV center, I was telling her, she didn't say a word to me the whole time. She was fine. She was very nice. She also wasn't like breathing down my neck. I hate when people do that. Make sure there's nothing out there. What you call it? We that TV center, like, when I was looking at it, I found the screws pretty quickly, and I was like, all right, cool, there's 4 screws, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom on each side. Easy peasy. Like, I'll throw a band around the glass doors and I'll just take it out one at a time. So I was expecting it to be 3 pieces. And as I'm taking it apart, like, more and more stuff is like still stuck together. I end up disassembling like the whole fucking thing. Like it made it kind of helpful because it would have been hard to pack it with that big piece in there. Like, I was already having trouble packing stuff. So it would have been kind of helpful. But at the same time, it was like, it took me like a half hour to do. Like, that's a long time. That's how long it took me to do the attic. I think the attic took me like 20-25 minutes. But crazy. Just to give you guys a quick little update with the dump. So it took me, I got there at 1:08 and I got out at 2:17. So an hour and 9 minutes. Not the worst for that dump. So I ended up weighing in at 3,000 pounds, which was $63. It's $42 a ton. That did not feel like that was going to be a 3,000 pound load. Like, it was a lot of, some of the stuff was heavier, but a lot of it wasn't like anything crazy. I'm confident that mattress probably weighed like 300 pounds, though. That thing was stupid heavy for what it was. I'm glad I got that crap out of the way. But yeah, $63 is a lot for a household trash kind of load. I would expect that for like a debris job or something, but it is what it is. What are you gonna do about it? So we're trying to convert, well, I'm trying to convert the garage right now into a gym. I was checking out this powerlifting coach I used to work under when I first got into it back in like 2015. I know it's been 9 years. And I kept telling myself, like, we're not going to get back into it. It's just too exhausting to do, like, with junk removal and stuff. I just can't do it. But I don't know. I'm not staying consistent with working out. Like, we're doing it at home here and there, but it's just not consistent, and it's just not as, like, entertaining, I guess. And I don't want to go back to the gym because it's expensive, and then if you don't go, you waste money. So I bought a squat rack on Amazon. Pretty cheap one, nothing special. It's not like a Rogue or anything. It's a little dinky thing, but it'll work for what I need to use it for, which is squats and bench. We already have a bench we got off of a job. I already have a barbell. We have 485 pounds in plates. So that is plenty for bench and squat, and that'll put me near a high end for my deadlifts if I even bother going up that high again. So overall, it should be a pretty good setup. And we're kind of cleaning out the garage right now to prepare for that. And my idea is, like, we'll get a couple of fans in there, and we'll put like a little speaker in there, and we can do like our workouts in the garage. It's a small garage. It's like a 9x9 garage, maybe a 10x10. But, you know, it's enough that you could do that stuff. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And I'm trying to build that squat rack, but it keeps raining every day. But yeah, let me know if you guys work out. Do you go to the gym? Do you work out at home? What kind of workouts do you do? Do you like CrossFit style, calisthenics, weightlifting? Or do you just kind of work out just to work out? You know, you're more into mobility and yoga and stuff like that? Or I'm curious what everyone else does. Because when I started doing moving, I very quickly fell off the wagon with and I was actively in a powerlifting program, and I started doing the moving job, and I was thinking I could do both, because I've done worse. Like, when I worked in catering, I was doing 100+ hour weeks for 8 months of the year. That was our season, was 100 110 hour weeks, every single week. And I was somehow still able to get through my powerlifting program and still progress in my weights, which was crazy looking back on it. But when I started doing the moving, that's a whole different ball game, guys. Like, my first day on the job, it was my third day in my program. My first day of moving, we did a 3-story townhouse into a 3-story townhouse. It took us 13 hours with 4 guys. And the guy I was working with, he was one of their top guys. And he was fast. I looked up to him as a mover the whole time he worked there. I asked to work with him all the time. And the manager laughed because nobody wants to work with him because he works so fast. You don't get to catch your breath. But I liked moving and I wanted to get better at it. So I asked to get put with him so I can get better. And I remember that was my first day. I wasn't super efficient with using a hand truck and a dolly and stuff. So he told me to run boxes for the first couple of hours. Just run boxes nonstop. I was like, all right, you got it. And that was perfectly fine. And then I finished all the boxes up until where at that point, if you keep adding more boxes, it's going to be inefficient for packing the truck. You have to do a mix of furniture and boxes. You can't just load one or the other. Oh shit, am I going to be able to make it around this curb? Yep, cool. And he was like, have you ever wrapped furniture before? And I said, nope, but I saw the training videos. And he was like, all right, well, I'm going to give you a couple of pads. Go wrap some of the furniture the best you can. I said, all right. And I secretly went home and watched a couple of YouTube videos about how to wrap furniture. So I was just going off of visuals. And I wrapped a couple of pieces, and he came downstairs and he's like, what'd you wrap? And I said, oh, these 4 or 5 things here. And he's like, oh, those are pretty good. Go wrap everything else. And that was my first day. But it was a 13-ish hour day, technically 14 with travel. And we each got tipped $100. The guy bought us subs from Publix and pizza, and he had a cooler of drinks. And I was dead broke when I started moving. I was in debt. I was broke as hell, and I was in debt. And I was motivated to just work every single fucking day. I told the manager, I said, do not give me a day off until I ask for it. And he said, okay. And I ended up working 8.5 weeks straight with no days off. And I paid off my debt in those 8.5 weeks. It wasn't anything obnoxious. It was 4 or 5 grand, but for me, that was a lot at the time. And I got my debt paid off in those 8 weeks. And then within the next 2 months, I had 3 or 4 grand saved up. So I started building up an emergency fund. And that was game changing for me. So as much as I complain about moving, I gotta give it to it. It did turn my life around, financially in that situation. So gotta give it props. But yeah, anyways, what are we talking? We're talking about weightlifting? Yeah, so I did that first day. I didn't get to the gym until 9 o'clock at night, which wasn't abnormal. I had to do that a lot with my jobs. But I was so beat. My legs felt like I had just done 4 workouts. And even my upper back was sore. I was just tired. Pre-workout didn't do anything for me. I was just worn out. And I texted my coach and I was like, hey, so I feel like shit. I haven't even done my workout yet. And squats are supposed to be pretty heavy tonight. So I don't know how well they're going to go. I'll give it a shot, but I'm just letting you know. And he was pretty understanding. He did moving for a couple of months during college and then said, fuck this. So he at least has an idea of how difficult it could be. And after a month, I was like, hey, I need to stop program because this just isn't working out. I'm too worn out. I'm not hitting my lifts. It's gonna just deter my progress too much. So we stopped working out. Well, I stopped doing powerlifting at least. And that's the history of it. So we're gonna try to get back into doing some basic stuff at home. Nothing crazy. I already just made up a little half-ass program, just a little basic progression, more just a kind of workout. I do feel like you see the best results doing weightlifting, heavier lifts, and then just tying in some accessories and stuff. I think you see better overall balance and growth. So that's the game plan. That was a long ramble, but brought back some memories. So we're gonna go inside and get Chipotle because I'm starving.